Early look at what to expect from the local market open. Cameron Peacock joins us now from IG Markets in Melbourne. And Cameron, I guess firstly looking at what we saw in the US, again, light volumes among the lightest of the year, really just a Groundhog Day, wait and see what Bernanke does this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, Bridie. Yeah, we are back in that Groundhog Day phase. It was another lacklustre session for US markets last night. As you said, the lightest volumes of the year. We had super tight trading ranges. Everyone's really just waiting for that Jackson Hole symposium at the end of the week, continuing to speculate on what Ben Bernanke might or might not deliver ahead of the Fed's next meeting in mid-September. I mean, to be honest, you probably could have closed the market for the first 3 or 4 days of this week. There's such little interest in people taking fresh positions ahead of that symposium later this week. So, you know, in the end, we had the Dow Jones finishing down 20 odd points, about 0.2%. We had the S&P down 1 point, the Nasdaq up about 3 points. So very, very flat trading. During the session, we did have some mixed economic data. We had home prices rising for the 5th consecutive month, according to the Case-Shiller Home Price Index. We had consumer confidence unexpectedly falling to a level of 60.6. That's the lowest level since November of last year. Perhaps, or possibly, the biggest news of the session was Mario Draghi withdrawing from the Jackson Hole symposium. He was due to deliver a speech but has pulled out, citing a very heavy workload. Now, as we know, the ECB is currently working on the details, the finer details of the bond purchase program, and that's obviously keeping him busy. His withdrawal has raised all sorts of rumours and speculation. Some people are saying it's a negative thing, that things aren't going well. Others are speculating that it's a good thing and they may be working on something bigger to announce in the coming weeks. So, you know, I think with such low volumes, people were just looking for a headline and looking for the next rumour to grab onto. But a very lacklustre session, not a lot of movement anywhere. Perhaps the biggest mover of the session, most notable mover, was the euro itself. We did see it moving from 124.95 up to current levels of around 125.60, and that was after the EU President Herman Van Rompuy basically came out and said that he was endorsing the ECB's plan to purchase bonds, and he basically said if and when it is used, he did see it as being a very effective tool.
So I guess they're looking towards the open end for our market. What do you think? Is it going to be another flat start to trade today?
Yeah, absolutely. As things stand at the moment, we're currently calling the market up 2 points at 43.61. So again, a very flat open. I think it's a 50-50 bet as to which direction we'll trade. I suspect it's going to be another day of fairly light volumes, and we'll trade in a fairly narrow trading range. Last night we saw a slightly weaker US dollar, with the exception of nickel. We had most commodity or base metals moving a little bit higher. We saw gold up about $7 to $16.67 an ounce. We saw crude prices up 1% to the 96.20 level. Part of that was due to Tropical Storm Isaac being upgraded to a hurricane status in the Gulf of Mexico. That's obviously putting a little bit of upwards pressure on oil prices. But we do have BHP's ADR called down another 0.8%, looking for it to unwind around that 32.80 level. And I think this is going to be a real talking point of the session, and you touched on it on the open, is the falling iron ore price. It's currently down around $94-95 a tonne. It's fallen some 30% since the 30th of June. We're currently tracking at the lowest levels since November 2009, I believe, and it's having a massive impact on the likes of Rio Tinto and Fortescue and Atlas and some of these names. I think it accounts for about 71% of Rio Tinto's earnings. It accounts for about 44% of BHP's earnings. But for companies like Atlas Iron and Fortescue Metals, where it's pretty much their sole commodity, it's having a massive impact on share prices and really weighing on that part of the market.
Absolutely. Yeah, lots to look out for there, particularly that iron ore process you mentioned. We'll keep an eye on that. Thank you so much, Cameron. We'll chat to you again later.